Shnerdcast episode 70.
Yup.
Fucking 70, man. There's 70 of these plus like 30 other things that we've done.
At least like 50 other, like at least 200 plus videos.
Dude, a lot of content, man. Got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, episode 70. Thank you, Josh, for being here. No, just because I just remember last time. I laughed so hard with him.
Dude,
That was hilarious.
So
Thank you for having me here. Much appreciated.
No worries.
Came here to pick up, well, not only just to pick up my skateboard.
You came up to
but
skate, and I was like, I'm not feeling it. I made you come all this way just to listen to me, bitch.
You're like, I
I
don't
was
really.
like, sit down on my couch.
He was, what's her name? Natalie Portman in South Park with Thor.
No.
No. No.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you haven't skated in a while, it is kind of tough to pick it back up.
Yeah, I just haven't been feeling it. Like, I want to go skate, but like all day for some reason I just was discouraged. I was like, I don't want to, like, I had barely enough energy to somewhat clean up the messes that were here before you got here.
Sometimes that could help bring your energy up, though, man.
Can
But sometimes, if
Still
you're
can
not in a
jerk it
good
off.
mood, I will say, if you're not in a good mood to go skate and you go skate,
you can get hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my other worry. See, look, that's a sign from the omen right
Is
there.
that another
Finally.
mouse trap? I'm just kidding.
I hope so. Fucking thing keeps avoiding it. I'm like,
Yeah,
there's
it's all
two of-
smart.
Yeah, I'm like, there's two of them, and ever since I haven't seen that fucker once around that area. I'm like, he knows. He took one whiff and was like, that's peanut butter.
He Tom and Jerry G, where he just stole the peanut butter.
Sucks. I wasted that peanut butter on him. My favorite treat.
But yeah, what you been up to, man? I know last time we talked, you were you made the CD and stuff and send that out.
Yeah.
Anything new? Because we literally just recorded like a few days ago,
Yeah.
so
No,
not
I'm
much.
just I got some other stuff that I'm working on, but I'm not gonna announce it. I'm gonna work on that a little bit differently.
Nice.
But yeah, just staying busy with that. Been playing games, watching shows, getting down on Hell's Kitchen because that's what's up.
Dude, I love dude. That's what I've been watching. A lot of Hell's Kitchen, especially the. Fucking raw,
Dude,
it's fucking
dude,
raw.
I can't do the accent, so I'm not gonna.
I can't
pretend.
really either.
But one of my favorite insults he says on that show in the early seasons that he doesn't say. I've not heard him say in the newer seasons. But dude, when he calls people a fucking donut, it's so funny, dude.
Fucking donut.
Somebody was like, I don't know what a donut is. I don't know what that is.
Look at yourself.
I know. He was
Fucking
like,
look at
he was
yourself.
like, yeah, basically, he was like, a donut. You're a fucking idiot. That's what it means. You're a fucking fat idiot.
Dude.
Like, he was so much more brutal in the beginning seasons. Like,
Did you see the one where the guy tries to fight him?
yeah.
He's like, I'm from fucking Boston.
Yeah,
what
Boston.
you gonna do?
Bro. And then another
Whose accent is better?
And dude, there was an episode of Kitchen Nightmares that I was watching that one of these Boston or Italian dudes got mad at a customer who or a friend of his that he owes money to, coming in and asking him for money. And this is the other insult that I'm like, I can't believe this is like on TV. The guy yells at the other dude. This isn't Ramsey, but one of the dudes he's trying to help goes, "You're a fucking blowjob! You're a fucking blowjob!" And I was like, okay, like I suddenly get the South Park joke way more about like the New Jersey jokes and the, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude.
But yeah, I've been watching a lot of that just because it's nice to have on in the background, and it's something that I don't have to pay attention to, but I can pay attention to when I'm actually into it.
Yeah.
It's just your car getting towed. Don't worry about
I'm always just scared they're gonna like run into it or
it. You
something.
should be. You can't back up without hitting a fence. So.
Yeah, dude. The thing about Kitchen Nightmares, though, dude, it's like I just started getting into it. What's funny too is I would have told you like back then, like back in, because it's like what, like 2008 to like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, but he was doing TV,
a bunch of other stuff
since '99,
like Hotel Nightmares and like
no, but he started with Kitchen Nightmares. That's the thing that blew him up was, I forget what it's called, but it was like a show or something in like '99 or 2000. But then, like, he did the Hell's Kitchen thing, or the Kitchen Nightmare thing in UK. And then we got it 5 years or 7 years later.
it's like, let's see what's going on across the pond.
Yeah.
You know how they called it? Did they say that?
He just was smart. He just was super smart. And anytime, like, he lost a restaurant, he would already be like, I'm going for 2 more, so it doesn't matter.
Dude, no, like, yeah.
But what were you gonna say? You were like
Well,
something you noticed about it? Because
if I would have told you that shit was fake, but if it wasn't for how like everything's so like live today, like everybody could just be like, look at this person acting fucking shit, bat shit crazy, which I'm sure probably some of them were.
Some of it
was staged or like
anything. With one thing that I've learned about reality TV is that there is a portion of it that's scripted.
Yeah,
so, an example in Kitchen Nightmare, I noticed in one episode. There was a scene, and it was a jump scene. And basically, a quick rundown, this restaurant owner had stolen $250,000 from his son to open up a restaurant. And then when his son asked about it, he was like, I got you a restaurant. And he was like, what?
Yeah, some of those people like really do take advantage of people.
You took money from me, Dad. Like, what the fuck? And anyway, so it's a 2-episode special. The second episode comes up, and they're all at the table. It's him, his girlfriend, the mom, the dad, Ramsey. And there's a moment where it's like the dad's lights click on you, and you could see that he's like, I get what I was doing wrong. The problem is it's I swear to God, it's as if that scene happened off camera and they were like,
recreate it.
Yeah, recreate it, because it was so the dad's personality changed. Like, it wasn't like what I'm saying.
No, I know what you mean. It was like...
So some of it is scripted. All reality TV, for the most part, there's a scripted portion. Even think about like those Survivor channels. There's usually somebody...
Because there has to be... Because I know he eats a lot of the food. Like, literally every time he eats the food, he's like, it's fucking shit, it's shit. Which I'm sure there's probably some food that he was like, this is good.
And pay attention to how clean the setups are. To where it's like... The transitions into things are very planned, and you can tell that there are probably scenes where they have to cut shit because like they don't like a contestant came in with no bra or something, because there have been where the contestants fuck around or get too drunk and like naughty shit happens. But like some of it is scripted, so don't get that fucked up. But you're right. I think that a majority of it is pretty real. And I don't think that he's sitting back there like, I'm gonna call this guy a fucking donut. I think it's just he is that pissed and he loves doing it. But so I think you're right.
Yeah, dude. But
some portion is fake though.
But I would. There is some like crazy ass people on there though, and it's like a lot of those people I wouldn't even thought of like existed if it wasn't like
there are some
stuff that happens. Like,
there are some psychos on there. I was reading some because I got heavy into the show because I watched Kitchen Nightmare. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I did when I was younger, but I basically just found episodes that I couldn't remember, rewatched them, right? Or highly controversial ones.
There's one I gotta finish. It was with 2 Italian sisters, and I'm like,
oh, dude. There. I wonder if it's the one I'm talking about. At the end of one, there's these 2 Italian sisters, right? I can't remember where or what it was. I just remember it ends, and she was like, at first I hated him, and now I want to fuck him. And then it went to commercial, and I was like, they kept it in there though.
Yeah. I like watching it on YouTube because they have the full episodes.
Oh, Tubi has all of Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmare uncensored.
Yeah, it's uncensored too.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool. That's fucking dope.
I don't know if they have full episodes of Hell's Kitchen, but they do have the highlights.
Oh, they have the full Hell's Kitchen up. They have Kitchen Nightmares. They have MasterChef, but not the ones with Ramsey. It's the ones in other countries like Canada.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I've actually just recently became a huge fan of Gordon Ramsay. So, what the fuck is that called?
Have you seen his cocaine thing? By the way.
No.
Oh, watch Chef Ramsay go do the look it up. It's cool. He's in it.
Cocaine?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
He does cocaine.
No. Well, maybe, but
makes sense.
It would make sense. But what he did was he flew he flew to another country, and he had a connection to watch cocaine be made, and he made a documentary about it. It's fucking dope. Watch it.
He's like, this is brilliant. Now I know exactly how I'm gonna go home and make my own homemade cocaine. I know why
you're laughing about when I said brilliant. You fucking asshole. I was like, why is he laughing? I'm so sweaty.
That's what fucking British people say.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
It's brilliant.
I can't get away with saying cranky or bloody, but I will be like,
bloody wanker.
It's bloody brilliant.
Somebody's been watching Doctor Who. No, I'm just kidding.
I can never get into that show.
Oh, me neither. You seen that video though of the guy who made? It's like the dude that taught Gordon Ramsay's or something like that. And it is a video of it's like a 2-minute like snippet of like a whole documentary. I think I'd have to look into it. Maybe just a TV show, but it's like the man who made Gordon Ramsay's cry, and then the dude was like, "I didn't make Gordon Ramsay's cry. Gordon Ramsay chose to cry, and I was like, "This fool's fucking gangster, bro." I was like, "Of course, that's Gordon Ramsay's fucking match. Like, it's
We've
equal."
got to remember that answer for girls. Like, dude, like I didn't make her cry; she chose.
But
to
the
cry.
way he also like has like
Only
these
after I
hand
hit her.
gestures where it's like you're like, damn, like he's like, I didn't make Gordon Ramsay's cry.
Oh, like
Gordon
I
Ramsay's
see.
chose to cry. Like I was
I
like,
see.
damn.
Have you seen the episode of Kitchen Nightmares with Amy's Bakery?
Yes,
That
dude.
shit. I just rewatched it with my girl the other day, and she was like, "Did you watch? You watched the follow-up episode, right?
No.
The next season after. So that episode happens at the season end.
Yeah.
The next episode is them revisiting it, and they released unseen footage." And it's just, dude, and then they used all the meme videos. So there's a part of the episode that's a cartoon, and it's a cartoon that somebody made, and it's of Amy freaking out on that poor girl who just asked, "Are you sure?" Dude, that was one of the crazy. They're closed, by the way, by now.
Dude.
But I just want to point something out. I did the math on this, and it blows me the fuck away. In Arizona, where they are, they were taking tips from their employees. In Arizona, that's illegal, right? Well, that episode aired in 2013 at the end of 2000. Well, at the end of the season for them,
Yeah.
the show, but at the end of the season. But
I think it was like 2012. You might be 13.
it was well because I did
early,
the math.
early,
Because it came,
early
that
teens.
episode came out 2013. The follow up came out 2014, and they closed in 2015. It took 2 years of them ripping off people before Arizona State or anybody was like,
with
"Hey,
that
you
old
should
man,
cl-"
right?
Yeah, the old
okay.
Italian dude. Yeah, the dickhead. Well, her husband, but she was crazy.
Dude,
She's
she was
like-
a succubus, bro.
She was.
I have some
crazy.
crazy news because I actually watched that episode not too long ago and found out my own research
Oh, shit. Let's hear it.
unknowingly that we would talk about
Oh,
this.
shit, let's go. We're about to see.
She-
we're getting our housewife on.
I'll see if I can find it. Maybe I can find it, but she has her own YouTube channel where she makes her own fucking pastries and stuff. I shit you not, dude. Because
Can we please, for my thing?
put the link in the description.
No. For my thing, can we just do the whole episode reacting to her stuff and
Dude,
talking about
we
it?
could, bro. We could, dude. No, she has her own. Apparently, she's had it since. for
I'll
like
put both
4
mics right
years.
here, and I'll put the computer on here, and we'll just react to it as it
Dude, I'm down with that.
plays. Yo,
But yeah, dude.
I'm about that.
She doesn't have like her subscribers or
Can't
anything.
wait to tell my girlfriend.
She only
She's
has,
gonna freak.
dude. You could, and it's her because at first, like some of the comments, whoever, some good Samaritan, good soul out there. Thank you so much. You're awesome for doing the research and actually finding this out. But I stumbled onto a comment thread, and like towards the end, there people were like, "Oh, this is her video. I think this is her." And then somebody posted their because especially nowadays, you shouldn't be clicking on links on YouTube. But this was like a couple years.
Dude.
This was like maybe a year ago when they posted that. So I was like, okay, it might be clean. But a lot of people were like, "Oh, thank you. Like, I think it is her channel. Like, thanks for the link."
That's so
and I clicked on it,
crazy.
dude.
I'm so excited.
But it's weird though because literally I just watched this a couple days ago, and like
Now we're
me
talking about
and you have like
We've
no
not
yeah.
even talked about Hell's
Yeah,
Kitchen or
exactly.
anything. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I was gonna say, it's crazy. There are some good things that were spawned, obviously, from the internet. There's a lot of good things, but some of the corny good things. There are some good corny things. Like there's a good aspect to trolling. It humbles some people that need humbling,
Yeah.
right? The other thing is allowing everyday citizens to become better at investigating. An example, finding her at YouTube. Another one was, did you ever watch that documentary called Don't Fuck with Cats?
Yeah.
Dude, those people beast moded and
Hella bad.
they were like in security camera footage, like they went G mode.
Dude.
Like,
What do they
you
call?
watched that,
What
right?
do they call themselves? Or like, what are they called? Like,
I don't remember the
they had their own. I know they had their own personas where they just
Yeah.
have like fake Facebook accounts.
and they
what
just
the
were
hell?
all like super blown away that this guy had like basically gone on a kitten serial killing spree. Like, and dude, that's no joke. That documentary,
And isn't he still free or something to this?
no, he's gone. He's locked up. I forget his name. It's
Well, it's probably good that we don't spoil it or anything.
Yeah, no, he's locked up. And they knew that documentary was crazy. He
was
got
crazy,
in trouble
dude.
because of the person he ended up killing.
And also, he the way he started too. Like, this is giving a lot away.
The acting. You're
Yeah.
talking about the modeling.
Well, he dated the most craziest serial killer at that time was a woman. I don't know if she still is, but you know what I mean, or not the serial killer. She was big news, dating a woman from Australia who killed her husband, and it was like in Australia that was like unheard of at the time.
That dude, that
Could you
whole
imagine though?
that documentary was nuts. Like they showed footage of him I'm pretty sure if I
remember
remember
there's
correctly,
another one that kind of we'll say that.
well, they just showed that footage of him
Yeah,
dragging
they
the
do.
body parts out,
They do.
and it was like, oh fuck. And then they showed the footage of the cats being killed, but not being killed. They just show.
My girlfriend could
basically-
not watch that. She's like, skip
dude,
it,
my-
and
yeah,
I was
my-
like, just
my
cover
girl
your ass
couldn't
because
either.
I
kind of so I've kind of found a twisted side of being in a relationship, and that's showing her videos, surprising her with videos that freak her out. An example, the leg breaking one of the gymnast. She was like, "What is this?" And I put it on the YouTube video, and she's like, "What?" I started screaming. So I decided that that's how that I should do that next one too.
Yeah, dude. Another one is was someone that you watched that one chick who was found in the hotel in LA, who was found in the water tower or the water tank,
the Cecil Hotel.
Cecil Hotel,
Cecil Hotel, yeah.
So there's another one where people band together and kind of like did
That's
some
true.
internet research.
And there are, I will be honest, there are some things in that documentary on Netflix. You're right. It does show that example of investigative skills and the plus side of having the internet, which can be a negative for cops sometimes because people intrude or whatever. But
False info.
yeah, and that documentary is a great example of that. But there are things in that are still a little weird, because like there were things that were changed that were kind of like, well, I get you guys explain in the documentary why, but why were they changed in the? But regardless, they do a good job of summing it up. Like she took something, had a psychotic break, and decided I'm gonna crawl into this thing naked to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's a great. You should know that.
To
story
be fair,
by now.
yeah. To be fair, like that when that first, like, I remember watching scary, like that's when I got into like watching scary stories and like listening to like creepy pastas and all that crazy stuff on the internet.
I remember that. You telling me. I remember you showing me
UFOs.
those.
Yeah, that's just pretty crazy. But one of the sad things that made me kind of like fuck, like this shit can and does happen is when that one dude, that the Mexican like dark metal, the
serial killer, Night Stalker.
No. It's the same documentary in the Cecil one, where it was the Mexican dude who happened to stay at the Cecil Hotel, and he posted a video like me doing
the metal dude,
the death metal dude,
who they thought did it,
and then he got death threats and stuff, and like, dude, it's hella sad because that shit really can't happen. So my girlfriend did some like on like investigation when this happened. Well, I'm not on this. This is a separate note where there was a car accident of this dude who was drunk driving at like fucking 8 a.m. like literally during traffic, like 7 a.m. And he went like 80 miles per hour like in standstill traffic. Oh shit! And he smashed into a car and like literally obliterated the fucking car and the person in front of him. Sadly, it was 2019, like literally right before COVID. It happened in San Diego. If you want to look it up, I'm not gonna like go into research or anything, but my girlfriend did her research and she looked into it and she found the guy, or she thought she found the guy who did it because it literally looked just like him, same name, and dude, he had death threats and all these things saying. And then there was a couple comments saying like, this isn't even the right guy, like you guys have your info wrong, but this fool had all this stuff on his Facebook and like his Instagram of people saying you fucking piece of shit, you should die, and like, I hope I run into you so I can beat the shit out of you, and fucking it really turned out to be the wrong person.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I want to skate. Like the other night we went skating. I just right now in this moment I'm like, I'm not feeling it. And exactly like you said, I know better when I'm not in the mood. No. Like it usually leads to me rolling an ankle.
Trust me, I'm the same way. Because last time I was like, just lazy day, just not doing anything, just not feeling good, and I was like, maybe if I go skate, just do shitty, and that's how you're right. That's how you hurt yourself because you're like, I know I could do this.
Yeah, and that was what I was
parkour.
Parkour. You want to hear something crazy? He didn't break his arm; it's healed. He severely damaged whatever in there.
Probably like dislocated the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it basically was like almost a break, but it just mimicked one.
Damn, that's lucky as fuck.
You've seen that video, dude. That arm looked broken.
Parkour!
Yeah, dude, there was no faking that. Like,
people were like, do it for the gram. Dude, people used to say that?
Yeah, dude, and then Tom Segura, dude, he was wearing wooden clogs in that. Like, that was not, like, but, then he went on Tom Segura's and your mom's house, and it was like they bonded over they're both getting hurt. It was like,
dude,
now they like talk. I'm like, what is going on? This world's so different. Like, since when is like almost?
It's because I think they're all like,
they're older.
Yeah, they're all older, it's like it's pointless to try to like keep that image up. Like, no, I don't talk to these dudes.
It just makes sense nowadays with the internet. To be like,
open up your fan base.
Yeah, exactly. Just to be like, well, we know they have at least 250,000 loyal listeners, and we know that your mom's house has like 1 million. It's good for both platforms. Like, so I totally understand it. It makes sense why Joe Rogan's been so successful, because he really was the one that really highlighted that the most, you know. Yeah. And his podcast is amazing.
Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, the one that
I can't believe you said his name right. Tom Segura has a joke writing on his podcast about all the people for the shows that he works for not being able to say his name.
Well, it's because it's funny because he like reawakened the memory when I watched the podcast with him recently on they had a 2-parter and it was like a 6-hour podcast.
On the Rogan?
Yeah. I went on a bike ride, I listened to fucking...
Podcast?
Yeah.
Don't worry, he's not a serial killer.
But, they were saying how he used to be on the Travel Channel. I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that, but yeah. Yeah, that's like a whole thing.
Bert Chrysler.
Well, speaking of comedians,
I know. Here I am.
Bring it all back around. We're bringing it all back around. Nah, but
I thought you were talking about my undisclosed comedy career. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't get into like comedy stand-ups or anything. Like it's hard for me to watch them and sit down.
Not lately for me either.
Just to like sit down and watch something, it's just like really hard. Like, okay, I'm really gonna sacrifice like an hour of my life to like.
I have that problem
to maybe like this like comedy special.
I have a problem with doing that with movies lately. That's why I've been sticking with just Hell's Kitchen, because I'm like, well, at least there's some drama in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny to see everybody's dreams get crushed.
It's like. Well, it's funny because it's like you wouldn't let anybody talk to you about Seth Ramsey's, bro.
Or except when $250,000 salary and running one of the biggest potential restaurants is on the line, you're probably gonna be like, "What do you want to stick up my ass?" Okay.
True, right?
True, like for real, like
you may lose, but you're still gonna get some street cred there.
Yeah,
you know,
dude,
you can
like,
cook or whatever, and you're still gonna get like a good chunk of money.
Yeah, like
good check at the end.
You gotta think like, yeah, they're gonna put up with a lot. Like Simon Cowell on American Idol, he's a shit talker, but in real life, if it was on the street and he said some of that shit, he knows like, yo, somebody popped me. Like,
dude,
same with Ramsey. I'm sure that he's probably a dickhead, but he's probably pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Just if you see him in the kitchen, you better fucking bring your A game, because
I see him. He towers over me. He's 6'2", or he's 6'1" or whatever. He's way bigger than me. He's like an inch taller.
What Gordon knows? No, he's
his size.
Well, he's a fucking like he knows jujitsu and he's like a black belt.
I think he used to play soccer too. I seen him
so
in his running shorts, dude. On one of the episodes, dude has huge calves. I was like, yeah.
So secretly, this is the number one Gordon Ramsay's fan podcast.
This is the Suck Off Gordon Ramsay podcast.
But hey, if you
get drunk,
you
get
can't.
old.
But I did want to talk about the Dave Chappelle podcast.
Yeah,
or
sorry,
Dave Chappelle. No, it's fine. The Dave Chappelle.
The closer.
The comedy special.
Yeah, the closer.
That one he just had. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. The closer.
Okay. Nice.
I believe that's what. It's called.
So yeah, this fool went deep. Took a deep dive into the untouched. What nowadays is the untouched, the untouchables. Yeah. I want to talk about the Eternals, the Untouchables. Like,
look, we're gonna talk about the real life MCU. The most dramatic shit you'll actually ever see.
But before I guess we get into like the controversy and everything. What did you think of this special?
Like all in all?
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. It was dope. And I said it earlier. I'll say it quickly off. What I said off air, I'll say on air. It was one of those specials where I found myself laughing, but not too much. A lot of listening.
Yeah.
Where I was just genuinely interested in how he was gonna take something or his side of things. You know, because that's kind of what we're here for as audiences. But what about you?
I loved it, man. I thought it was hilarious. And what's funny too is I kind of like just made my girlfriend watch it. Like I just put it on and I was like, "This is what's gonna be on." Like if you could think of something else to put it on. Because we were waiting to get some food, so I was like, I'll just put this on and see if she likes it. She loved it, dude.
She loved it?
She thought it was hilarious.
Great news. You think I should show my girl? She thinks she like it? Yeah, I'll show it to her.
Yeah. But yeah, so this fool took a deep dive into the LGBTQ community and how he's getting ridiculed though. He's getting like
some of the articles are just like people are just so mad that they're getting like fat fingered while they're talking. They're like, fucking
and this isn't like a jab or like hate or anything. This is just pointing out.
Look, and like whether what he said turns out to be right or wrong, we are simply stating that he said something and this is the reaction, and us from the outside looking in viewing it, it's kind of like I gotta be like, why? I like the look. Let's point out the obvious here. Because once I say what I say, you still have to explain his opinion, and he's the total opposite. Is that I'm a white guy, so maybe mine isn't like doesn't matter because it's kind of like in general, you know what I mean. But I laughed at it. I thought it was funny, and on top of it, the reaction from people, whether it's right or wrong, I'm like, some of you guys are going crazy, like
dude. And then the people at Netflix. So they're like the trans and gay and or the LGBT workers at
LGBTQ plus
workers at. Thank you so much.
I like how you just like you like that. That was so good, dude. We need like a signal every time, so we need
a soundboard, so we just have that there. Just LGBTQ. You see, I can't even say it.
Plus.
It's like
we need to start creating.
Say it 3 times fast.
LGBTQ plus. LGBTQ plus. LGBTQ plus.
Well, you're the fucking.
You're
the musician over here, so.
I don't mean to pop my films. I do make music.
This guy. Yeah, they're threatening to leave. Like
Netflix, the workers.
Yeah, and people are saying like trying to boycott Netflix because of all this. And
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, which I'm sure.
It's like Scarlett Johansson suing Disney. It's just never gonna work.
And I'm sure a lot of people who watch this too notice some of the fans. I don't want to point out individual people and like,
I do, but we won't.
But there's certain fans you'll see and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it was funny because they were just like at the beginning they're like, yeah, and then towards the end they're like. Mm-mm.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. We won't say maybe we shouldn't say it. You're right.
Yeah.
But there's somebody. It's pretty clear if you watch the fucking that one. You're right. That in the beginning you pointed it out. You were like, nah, yeah. And by the end of it, they were not excited. Yeah. Like you said, they arms crossed.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, ugh.
And what's
so upset over something you paid for.
What's crazy though is like, he really is. When it comes to like these kind of jokes, he's like an untouchable.
And like he said, one might refer to me as the goat.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, not one. Everybody calls you the goat. Like, dude, just name one thing he's done, and it's hard to be like discredited.
Yeah, dude. And then he even pointed out, he's like, I'm not like fucking one of these like fucking fake ass Hollywood executives or like actors.
I love that.
Or like fucking producer, like. And then he even said like. Toward like not to spoil it, but like this is common knowledge.
Yeah,
he fucking did leave fucking $50+ million on the fucking table.
He's like, huh?
And he left, dude.
I turned down like 60 or 50 million.
And like for people who are like, like we grew up during the Dave Chappelle show. You know what I mean? Like I remember people
watching him come up was like amazing.
For the longest time, people would be like, always be like, yeah, what?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because we really did. We were. Damn, a super impressionable age by the time Chappelle show was on.
Oh yeah, 6th grade, bro.
Yeah, dude, and we would just, oh my god.
I just remember being in the locker rooms, and that's all you would hear people saying. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, imagine being a teacher and all the kids are like, what?
Yeah, dude, and like, dude, that's school. So our middle school, like, it's so funny because it wasn't like in a bad area, but it had the ghettoest kids, and you're right. It would.
What?
Okay. Dude, I also remember the fuck your couch being screamed out, dude. Like, constantly in school, dude, in the locker rooms, man.
You know, for the longest time too is the Prince impression, the Prince one.
Oh yeah,
I never because until I got.
Is that the one where he tells the basketball story?
Yeah. And he did something. He was like, he made fun of him. And Prince, he said, Dave Chappelle's impression is like, that, for the longest, when I was younger, I didn't get that. I literally didn't get that. And then like one day, it took a long time, for real. Yeah. It wasn't until I started playing basketball. and then I watched that and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Bro. I get it.
Yeah, dude, we grew up at that perfect time to watch it, like, him go. So for people to be like so offended about this, I get it. It makes perfect sense, and you're allowed to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you're allowed.
But you got to know what you're walking into when you go to Dave Chappelle's show, dude.
And he also he stressed some good questions too that are like, okay, well, if we're gonna have, if it's just gonna be you're upset, so now I'm canceled. I feel the need to ask questions. Was his point, and that's, I think, the biggest thing that anybody should take from it. Be like, you should watch it, and if you were upset, you should ask yourself why.
Yeah.
And then be able to address that, like, why is it so upsetting that I got to take to the keyboard to go, fuck you, Dave Chappelle, like, all because of whatever. And I get it, because, like, and I get it, because the thing is, whenever I watch any comedy, I'm like, the goal usually to be, for me, to laugh the hardest is you gotta shoot to offend me. Well, like, you know what I mean?
There was one point,
and you gotta be willing to offend me.
This is a big spoiler too. Like, I did want to kind of bring this up. This is a really big spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, skip it to this time. He brought up the point where he's like, I don't know how the fuck you guys did it. Like, we black people have been trying to make this movement go for hella long, and then all of a sudden you guys come along and you guys did it.
Yeah.
Like, we're hella jealous of you and stuff.
He's like, you know what it was? And like, you guys were able to turn off the gay card and turn on the white card.
No, that's exactly. He's like, but when shit gets real, you guys turn on that white shit real quick. Oh, dude, that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
bro.
It was perfect. It was so well written, dude. I fucking.
But that shit is hella true, dude.
But yeah, the thing is, like I said, like I was saying, that I brought up that he brought up in that thing, in the special. The big thing is, why do we live in a time where it's like, you got to be appalled before you ask questions? Like, and that's like really all it is. Because if you take anything, he was really asking a lot of questions, like jokes, of course, but him literally being like, how the fuck did you guys do it? And what are we doing wrong? And then he goes, my officer, it's super brilliant. And it's quite it's
what's funny too is he actually might have had one. I don't know if it was him. I'm sure it was him. I could be completely 100% wrong. So I'll take the debate. Like, I'll take the fall if that's wrong. But there was one where literally it was like, I think it was the one in Washington where he did the special in Washington, and he was like, you fucking like the Saudi Arabian people, or like the, you know what I mean, the Afghanistan people.
Yeah.
He said something like, you guys, he was fucking around, but he's like, thank you guys so much, because you guys took most of the heat off the black people. I don't know if it was him. I think it was.
Yeah.
But, like, even saying that joke now, it's like, oh, shit, like, should I even be saying that? But
bro, the other day, we were doing Zoom, and you said the joke. And it actually made me go, wait, should he even have said that? Like, and I was like, fuck it, it's his channel. He can do what he wants. But, like, I thought about that, and I'm like, that's hella lame that we actually do live in that time where you have to, like, look, you should always think before you speak.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Always, okay? But, like, there's that general outline of, like, look, some people have said things that made other people laugh. A great example, it's the entire Napoleon Dynamite movie. You love it. I fucking hate it. I hate that movie. But it doesn't mean it should not exist just because I don't like it. Or maybe there's some things in there, like, I don't feel that they did that nachos any justice. Like, you know, just silly shit. I'm just being silly. But It's the same. It's the same kind of context. And before anybody's like, how is somebody gonna compare fucking genders to nachos? Well, I just did, bitch. Get over it.
There you go.
There it is. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't need to apologize for it. It's because it's really ridiculous that if we live in a time where you couldn't just ask me like flat out, and we'd be okay.
And let's be real, dude.
Or something like with Dave Chappelle special, an example.
Let's be real, dude. We left high school, and that shit didn't start happening until like 4, maybe 5 years out of high school when people started like really transitioning and stuff. So.
And there were people we went to school with that I guarantee, like we won't say it on air, but me and him were probably like, that's really a guy. Like they're probably a guy. They feel like they're a guy.
Yeah, But I'm just saying there are probably dimensions that we probably don't know to like the whole trans story and everything. Like, because I was watching these people talk about it, and then there was this one person who was like, because we don't know all the terminology. Because there's this person who was like, I'm a pansexual or something, but it looks bad at like if something about like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher this. So if you're watching this and I don't know,
or just butcher
they just said like they said cis and non-binary gender and like all this stuff, and I still don't. I kind of get it now more than I did before, but I still don't get it.
Yeah.
But like they were pointing out that kind of argument where it's like, so there are dimensions that we don't get, and look, if you're in high school, you're probably around this stuff all the time. There's probably like at least a few.
If you're in high school now,
that's what I mean. And we're like this started happening like years removed from high school from us. So we're already like doing our lives and doing our stuff. We're like,
and also we come from a pretty big generation of not giving a fuck. Like at least me and you,
at least our area where we grew up.
Yeah, that's a way better way to put it. The area where we grew up, there was way worse shit happening, and like we just didn't have time. Like for us as kids, at least, as far as the kids went, to focus on each other's like ethnicities or genders or anything. Like we were typical kids that got into a lot of trouble. That was it. It's I don't know, man. There's a lot of those. I like how you said that. Basically, I mean, well, you gotta like tiptoe around it.
Yeah, and you can't please everybody, man.
Well, and
not everybody's gonna be happy.
And like on this conversation, I'll just say it. Maybe it'll spark something. I like the special also with Dave Chappelle special about. I like how it. Sorry, I was thinking about something and I wanted to make sure to bring it up. I do like the conversation about the transgender LGBTQ plus. Clip that whenever you want.
SoundCloud, sound clip.
You can keep the copyright.
One of those called where you sell that. The thing where somebody will sell it like it's like the new trading card thing.
Oh, NFT.
There you go.
Yeah, NFT.
Yeah.
But no, he brings up something super valid. And since we're talking about it, like I was saying, and I kind of like got off subject, I apologize, but
it's all good.
The tiptoeing around it is a problem because it never gets talked about. And then when people do talk about it, they're like, "Oh, nobody's gonna agree," and it's like that's kind of the point of talking, is that you're not supposed to agree all the time. In fact, that's how you get better at talking and avoid bad situations. Is that you have situations.
Everybody gone to that like PC mode where you can't say anything bad about anybody.
And it's funny because
which I get it. Like you don't want.
No, there's a limit, and you know what? And we've all learned that limit. Even me, you, like things that even now we're like, oh, I don't do that no more. I don't do this. I'm very much so that way now. But there is a limit. It's a limit, meaning it works both ways. I don't just. There's some things I won't say. There's some things. Some tasty humor you're never gonna get me to dislike. And
exactly.
Dave Chappelle's blunt forwardness and honesty about how he feels about something, I'm like, so far fool's not been a miss. So no, I'm sticking with the goat.
Everything's been fire so far, and fucking
and he didn't say like he hates anybody or anything, so I mean, like, I didn't hear anything racist or like just how he feels. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, there was stuff that was racist, there was stuff that was offensive.
Of course.
Yeah, but it's just like...
I still laughed at it all.
Even
the stuff that I may or may not apply to.
Dude, even like stuff from like 6-7 years ago, like that shit would not get by today. Like me and Keith were talking earlier today, like we're talking about This Is the End, dude. A movie like that cannot be made
No,
today,
no,
dude. Like
I watched
all
that
the
the other
fucking
day,
like
yeah.
misogyny and all that stuff, and like
Just the rape jokes about Hermione from Harry Potter.
and just like you know like certain yeah, just like certain movies like that though is just like you just
No, you won't. We won't get them anymore. Or okay, so I think I said this last time. I think what's happening is that people are gonna start getting sick. They're gonna treat this like a fad, is the oversensitive thing, and then we're gonna get extremely desensitized people. Like we're used to it in our generation being desensitized. Like, oh, today the buildings blew up on 9/11,
yeah
and tomorrow this person died that we knew, and yada yada, and so desensitized.
yeah.
I think after this super PC phase that we're gonna get to like an extremely desensitized like new trend where people are just like, I don't give a fuck about how many people died. I just want to watch the show and laugh. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, we've basically been doing that even before.
I just think history just repeats itself. So and like just like all I'm trying to say is with however like with the way we look at things now with beliefs, especially with like the LGBTQ plus community. Look, I'm all about whatever you want to be, but there's a line I draw, and it partially has to do if you change your species or your race. Is when I'm just like, yo, somebody get this fool help. Like,
Frank, can you get a lighter?
Yeah,
I'm gonna break this back.
I'm serious about that though. If you're like, hey, I feel like a dog, I'm gonna be like, yo, please get help. Like, I understand being like, I would even as far as be like, if you're come from like a belief system where you do connect with animals, then I'll shut up or whatever. But like, I'm just like, for you to be like, by the way, I decided I'm a pit bull and I'm dating a corgi. I'm like, and
corgi.
Like that girl who's like, oh, I identify as a wolf, and one of my girlfriends, because I'm polyamorous, is a corgi, and one of them's like a sheepdog, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, like that's where my problem comes up. Is I'm like, we are totally, because at one time we have this gender awareness and pronoun awareness going on, which is good and bad, just like any other type of like scenario like this with like say mental health. It's good that you get a lot of attention to it. It's also bad because then you get leeches like Billie Eilish who come in and go, this is my image, and reality now I'm blonde again and everything's okay.
Yeah, dude.
So with this new thing, that kind of bugs me, because you know what I mean? Like, I just don't, I'm like, come on, dude, I don't get it. I just don't. You can't change your species, and you can not change your fucking your race.
I don't know, man. I think it's okay for somebody to turn Korean. No, I'm just
kidding. If anybody doesn't know, look up Ollie London. That is all you got to see. Like,
I think it's okay to get your legs chopped off and just run around on your arms and knees. I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's happened yet, but I'm sure it probably will.
He said Korean, not pigmy people, dude. What is wrong with you?
I'm talking about somebody who wants to be a dog or something.
Dude, this guy's so getting canceled this week.
They're like, I'm a pig, like the Family Guy. He's like, oink. That's gonna be what's really. Somebody's just gonna come up in the fucking party. I'm a pig, oink.
Yeah, dude.
You're not a pig. What?
I'm gonna show you that TikTok video of those that person that's like, identify as a wolf, and then he or she or they bring up their one of their many girlfriend or boyfriends who identify then as another dog, and like it's fucking crazy. And I'm like, I don't know what's crazier, us accepting that's a new norm, or what if those people just know how fucking crazy it is, and they're just using the Instagram and the talk to fucking get, you know what I mean? And in the meantime, all of us are like, they really feel that way.
You have to accept them.
You gotta accept them. Yeah, we're just the fools in like either scenario.
Honestly,
because we care if somebody identifies as a wolf.
This might be like a horrible analogy or like example, but we've all grown up like kindergarten, first grade, maybe even second grade, know that person that like just never gave up, like they never got out of like their fucking jammies or some shit, like
their costume.
Or like had some kind of like, you know what I mean? They just never took anything off.
Yeah.
And then
Stinky.
It just reminds me now where it's like, you can't tell them that they can't do that. So it's like, okay, you could do that. You could, and then they're like, they never developed that out of like, okay, I could kind of, if I can dress as a fucking the
That's
Flash at
true.
my school, what else are
We
they
got
gonna
a
let me
daddy
do?
daycare in this bitch.
Oh my god, where he
Yell
pooped
at,
everywhere.
yeah, did you yell at daddy daycare? Because remember the kid in the flash suit? Yeah, but
That
I
was,
know exactly
yeah,
what
yeah.
your reference is. I
That's
get it.
like it's like a kind of weird analogy.
No, but it
I didn't
makes
really
perfect
explain it
sense.
well,
No,
but
it makes perfect
it's
sense.
kind of what I think of it as. It's like you never let them. You make it so normal where they don't get to develop that part of just like, and it's not even with people who want to identify as like a whatever.
Well, either
I'm
look,
just talking about like
you're not talking
you
about
you're
just
pretty much
race or
innate like
species.
I think of it as like raising a baby. You know what I mean? Like like you you know what I mean? Like if you hold something for the like if you hold the thing for the baby to drink and it's never gonna and like oh like open my mouth you're gonna give me beer you know what I
Yeah,
mean like it's never gonna learn to pick it up it's
you're
never
right.
gonna learn that skill to just be like oh like maybe I shouldn't be
Yeah, if you keep what do they call
walking
it?
outside straight
Coddling
dressed
it.
as a dog fucking getting walked around.
Yeah, like what do they call it? Coddling it or whatever.
Coddling yeah
Yeah,
like
or where
I
they
just say you just promote bad fucking
yeah, like
you're
we
promoting
do
bad
everything for you.
yeah something
Um,
like that I don't know
it it's kind of weird, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense that we live in this era, because it was bound to happen. But like the thing is, like I said, history repeats itself so like meticulously.
yeah
It's just like it's that's something we always can count on is to see a same event happen again. And I don't and look, I'm not gonna go into conspiracies like World War shit or whatever, but talking about this, like it, civil rights movements need to happen, and they'll happen in many ways that maybe even today will surprise us down the line. We'll be like, holy shit, that's like right now it all makes sense where it's like people just want to be treated equally. I
yeah
am 100% about that. The thing is, when you start blending the question between is somebody fighting for something that is right on a moral human whatever scale, it's just right, like we all have a general understanding of what's right for the most part.
yeah
And hating each other is usually not doesn't fall in that category. And when we start blending that with the fucking psychopathy of, or is this person mentally unstable, and they think that they woke up this morning and now they're a door, and like I'm a door, and just a terrible example.
well no there was this one thing where
I'm a werewolf,
there
and everybody has to be like, "Watch out! The moon
there's like
comes out. He
there's
fucks everybody."
I don't know if it was one person or like some people saying this, but they're like, 1 hour I could be a boy, or the next hour I could be a girl, or
That
I'm
that
angry so that makes me a boy, or I'm really affectionate so I'm a girl.
and now we won't go into like how you feel, you deciding gender wise. That's different. Like just I will.
That's batshit crazy.
I think if you're bouncing around, it's fucking a little nutty.
It's
Like
like
you were just
split personality, bro.
yeah. But then, like I said, that's what I have to ask. Is I'm like, look, I'm all about it. I know people that have transitioned, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
They've always been awesome. They're still awesome. They're amazing. If they're happy, then cool. I'm happy. But I always have to ask that question about those other things, those other cases, those other situations, where it's like, when do you go? Okay, are you calling out for help right now? You know what I mean? Like, are we just all promoting it? You're a psycho. Yes, and it's kind of like that sucks.
Yeah.
Because that's when you look at the Dave Chappelle special and you go, I see what he's joking at here.
Yeah, dude.
Well, like you said, like how the fuck did you guys do it? You know what I mean? It's brilliant.
And it happened, man. And all this shit is pretty crazy, and it's new times, and I guess we'll have to see where it goes and where it comes to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and hopefully it's all positive. Like I hope it's positive for everybody.
We'll see, unless we just all nuke each other.
I'm okay with that. So good for me.
We all
Positive.
Duke nuke each other.
My dreams will have come true where I look up and the moon blows up and I'm just like, fuck. You can't hear me, boy. I'd call you and be like, my dream was right, dude. I'm a fucking clairvoyant.
I'm floating up into the sky.
The moon meteors hit me.
You know what would suck though? Whichever side had nighttime and whichever side had daytime, it would stay like that forever.
Yeah, and then also, do we really know what would happen to the ocean if the moon blew up?
Fucking flow into the air, bro, and then just.
Well, we wouldn't lose gravity, but the
No,
water
no.
would lose pull and pull and push.
It probably would stay on. It'd probably flood like a good chunk. It'd
Oh,
all
yeah.
probably stay on one side. It'd probably all, honestly, since the gravitational pulls from the sun, it'd probably all just go towards whichever side.
Oh, dope, dude.
The
So we're
ass
all
end
dead.
of the.
Yeah, California. The
Yeah,
ass end.
probably.
He said probably. Anyway,
Whatever.
yeah,
Like, it's literally just, it would depend which side you're on when it happened. If it was so when if you're the moon, like if it's a full moon, it would be good, but also it would suck because
Look, I've seen this TV show.
no, it would
clearly
the temperature would drop drastically like after a while because it would just get colder and colder and colder because you would never see the sun,
dude. Wouldn't
and one side would be too fucking hot all the time.
wouldn't the
So probably eventually the fucking the whatchamacallit would probably end up just the pole. Depending on what side it was,
the would probably shift. I mean, the poles would probably they would basically turn upside down.
I don't know if they would turn upside down. Maybe
I just mean like the planet would be like completely backwards. We would.
I don't know. I don't know what would happen to the Earth.
I'm just trying to say we go back in time.
I don't know what happened to the Earth's poles, honestly, if that happened. But I do know if the oceans went to if the sun. Whichever, if the oceans was pointed to would end up pointing to the sun, and I think it would end up evaporating because it would just get so fucking hot that it would just
become a dry planet.
And then the other half would be a fucking frozen planet.
Yeah, or if we were that lucky.
Well, that's what would happen. That would really happen
because one side
would be a desert, and the other side.
Would we just stop rotating though?
Yeah, we would.
Without
we'd
the
still.
moon, we would stop. No, hold on.
The Earth would
orbit.
Yeah.
But without the moon, would we stay? Would
the moon is the reason why the Earth rotates, like
around,
spins.
It spins.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're fine. Yeah, you're right. And best case scenario, which is still horrible, like you said, one side's frozen, one's on fire, right? But it would take probably like hundreds of years before those to turn because of the natural rotation. Because we go like this. So if
I don't know if it would.
I'm curious.
I don't know because
something doesn't just sit still.
It would maybe if it was like as it rotated.
Like it's fixed, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering. I'm like, does something in space ever become fixed? Because I've never in any simulation thing, because I'm an astronaut. No, just me and you know what would happen, like gaming shit or just online videos, our nerd high moments, our Shnerd moments, and that's fucking dope, dude. We need to do nerd. Anyways, I love it. I'm curious if an example with the moon, like say exploded, and the planet was still here, didn't get destroyed by any of the debris in space. Something as big as a planet, that's what I'm actually asking. I'm not meaning to, maybe I'm sounding condescending.
No, you're saying
it would say, you're saying that it would, even if its power to stop spinning like the moon, right? Stop giving it an extra whatever. If everything was gone and there was nothing, over time that thing wouldn't rotate because, like I said, in space it seems like nothing is fixed. Up can be down and down can be up. So eventually the slightest movement would incorporate a spin. Or
I don't think
that's what
it would probably take over like hundreds of years.
That's
maybe.
what I meant. Like 100 years goes by, and then eventually the planet starts to edge.
It would probably just do the same thing, like whatever's frozen just slowly starts to melt, and then the opposite. But eventually, it would just. I would imagine it would just be like Venus, just a desolate planet, or even the moon, just a desolate thing, just flipping back and forth.
Gonzo, lay down.
Maybe.
Lay down.
Yeah, maybe like that. That is interesting, though.
No, yeah, I just am curious about that because I have dreams about the moon blowing up all the time, and I'm like, yeah, man, those dreams, they don't ever end well.
Yeah, that always. It's almost worse than getting hit by an asteroid.
Would you prefer the moon blowing up or the zombie apocalypse? But the zombies are fast. They're not little bitches. Like, they're fast. Like, maybe even where... Have you seen Army of the Dead on...
I would just do the fucking moon because at least... I don't know. Just because the zombies, bro. If they're fast, everybody's going to eventually... Like, nobody would survive that, dude.
Dude, we've had this argument so many times. You're right. Yeah, dude. I think...
It's game over, bro.
I don't want to see the moon ever blow up.
Dude, no.
I almost am like... if zombies come and they don't destroy the Earth like the moon blowing up might, I think I would be like, maybe we need to lessen the numbers. Let the zombies come.
Yeah, I'd rather fucking
Go over to Ben's house.
I'd rather freeze or burn alive like a fucking ant under the microscopes than fucking
deal with Dawn of the Dead zombies.
Dude, ravenous people that just tear you apart.
Dude, like, have you ever seen the Zack Snyder's the Army of the Dead or whatever, the robbery movie where they with Batista?
Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, just imagine that you're just those zombies that ride horses and wear metal helmets, and they just fucking are hella fast, and they control a power of army of.
They even have fucking whatchamacallit? Yeah, tiger zombies and shit. What the fuck?
Like, would you rather do that or the moon? You're like, nah.
I mean, that world didn't look pretty cool anyways, so I know it was supposed to just be in Vegas, but still.
We can all do without Vegas. I'm just kidding.
I gotta take one more bit. So.
That conversation got real deep.
Yeah, we went. Welcome to our normal conversations, people.
We just talked about it. For a while.
We just went off on a spiel, but
a little sensitive.
One of the things I want to talk about too is they just dropped the new Scream trailer.
Yeah.
Bringing back some of the old characters like Courtney Cox and I don't remember what the main chick's name is.
Sydney. Hello, Sydney.
That's good, but I don't remember what's the actress name.
My wife.
Sydney.
My future wife. Sydney. I should have said that. Sydney. Her real name is Sydney. What's your favorite scary Sydney?
Oh, it comes out next year.
That's really the character's name, by the way.
Her name's Neve Campbell.
Yeah, Neve Campbell. It's Campbell.
And they're bringing back David Arkwright, who's Dewey.
Yeah.
Or Officer Jeffy. Just kidding.
Or Officer Doofies. And Monster, don't bother me when I clean my room.
That's that. In his underwear and shit.
Yeah, man.
I like it when the girl's like she sucks on his fingers. She's like, he's like.
What did he say?
I don't remember something stupid.
He's like, what is that? Oh, she's like, what is that? And he's like, I just scratched my ass.
So stupid.
I just scratched my ass. Or some shit.
God damn, dude.
Mom said, don't bother me when I'm cleaning my room.
That's probably the best one ever.
Yeah,
if you've never seen Scary Movie,
that movie is great.
The first one.
The first two are really good. The rest are horrendous.
Yeah. The third one was honestly okay.
It was on the fritz.
But the rest, yeah.
Charlie Sheen's in it.
Winning.
Yeah,
Remember?
Yeah. And then
that was right before memes. He's probably the reason why memes became a thing, bro.
Even, dude, if not, he should be thanked as one.
Dude's a national treasure. So.
You know what I don't understand? Why isn't a meme? One quick thing. Have you ever seen Blade 1 with Wesley Snipes?
Not in a long time.
That in that movie, the main actress's name is Karen, right? The character's name is Karen, Dr. Karen, whatever. And there's a scene when one of her ex-boyfriends gets turned into like this half stupid vampire, and they throw her in the pit. And he's like, "Come on, Karen, come on!" And he starts, I'm like, why hasn't this been a meme? Because he's literally yelling, "Come on, Karen!"
It's because nobody remembers that scene besides you, Josh.
What were you gonna say? My feelings are real sensitive around here. We can talk all.
Speaking of being sensitive, no, just kidding.
Yeah, speaking of everything else, this bugs me. No, just kidding. Cancel.
So yeah, you saw the Scream trailer. It brought back a lot of the characters. It seems like I don't know what they're trying to do with this movie. They really just.
I think I was a big fan of this movie when it first came out. The first.
Yeah, we were like 7 years old. We were like 6 years old.
Also, I always liked good horror icons, you know, and he is.
That's
Ghostface is a horror icon.
Definitely a classic.
Yeah, and to me at least, or maybe to you also. And
no, if you can't have that without.
Yeah, man,
you can't have Ghostface now without Halloween.
Yeah,
without
and you gotta kind of realize that what when soundboards became really famous on the internet was when that movie came out and
Hello, Cindy. Yeah.
Hello, Cindy. What's your favorite scary movie? Like that shit was weird.
And that was Drew Barrymore, wasn't it?
In the
first one, or am I tripping?
In the first one, yeah. The very first
Damn,
one.
that was Drew Barrymore.
Drew
Look at her now.
Barrymore, me please.
Oh
like,
my god.
She was beautiful. She is beautiful. Scream, I'm a huge fan of it. I don't want to say I'm excited because I'm afraid of being disappointed, but much like what I started off saying about the new Halloween movie, when it first got announced, I was like, I watched the first one, Halloween 2018, the one that's the first one of this new trilogy.
Yeah.
And
oh, so you think it's gonna be a new trilogy?
no, it is. It's already been announced. There's Halloween, the one that came out in 2018.
Oh, I thought no. I thought you were
Kills.
talking about Scream. My bad.
Oh no. Yeah. But I started off saying the same thing about Halloween, where I was like, fuck it, blah, blah, and then they released more footage, and I was like, some of this kind of looks just like not something you go, this is an amazing movie. Yeah. But you go, dude, yeah, it was on Halloween, I watched an example, say Halloween or Scream.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was a good movie to watch. I mean, I didn't go see it in theaters, but on Halloween it came, I realized it was out, and I was like, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I don't think that, like I said, my hopes aren't very high.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's only so much you can do, and it's either going to be one of the current cast that's going to be a killer, like one of the younger cast, or it's going to be like
somebody from the old movies.
Yeah, like it's totally obvious.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Scooby. I mean, Shaggy. Shaggy.
You said Scooby, and I already knew exactly what you mean, bro.
It was going to be Shaggy.
Matthew from
13 Ghosts, which is.
But what I know from Salt Lake City Punks, bro.
Dude,
you ever seen that?
SLC Punks. SLC Punks. Great movie. Number 2 sucked. Number 1 was great.
There's a number 2?
It's a straight to fucking VHS. Let's not give it too much. I mean, straight to VHS. Let's not give it too much credit.
Did we watch that?
What?
Did we watch that?
The
number 2?
We might have when we were really drunk.
I don't know if we might have been younger than we might have been.
Oh, maybe.
Back when you had the penny and
I can remember where you might be thinking of. Was it because? Do you remember at my apartment on Rancho on Coloma? Crow had the DVD CD case, and he had SLC Punk in there, and we would all get drunk. Remember in the front room and just slap movies on. Remember Faces of Death and all that crazy dumb movies. But we would just sit there because we didn't have anything better to do.
Yeah, dude. So to this movie, I don't know what they're like doing. I guess it's cool that they're bringing back all the old stuff.
Can I ask you one question because I'm curious? Okay, so we have Scream and we have Halloween. So Halloween's pretty cool, just because it always comes out on Halloween, and it's kind of like, at least for me and you, we've seen like hundreds of those movies come out in our birth time, you know?
Yeah.
Our lifetime. So with Ghostface or Scream and Halloween, Michael Myers coming out, what's like a horror movie for you that excuse me, around Halloween, like this time, I don't know about you, but around Halloween I like to watch horror movies. Like off and on I'll turn on a good horror movie.
Yeah.
And I'll also go find independent ones, like, and just be like, oh, this is dope.
I don't do that.
Yeah, you'll find some gems. 1 out of every 20, unfortunately. But you'll find a gem every now and then. What's like a character for you, or a movie like Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Pinhead, the Cenobites in Hellraiser, all the crazy demons, the army of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
What are some a character that you connect with really well around this time of year that you're like, why aren't they fucking remaking this? Like, and you would be like, even though it might suck, you'd still be like, I'm gonna watch it. Like, do you have one of those, kind of like if it was like?
That's a tough one, honestly. That's like,
It's a hard one, because you think.
So
about
I'll say this: I could always, and forever, and this is not because I could relate to it, but this is just because like. So The Ring, that's a movie I could always watch.
Yo, and, I did not expect that answer.
And that's only reason why, because I saw that when I was, I was still. It
was like 2002 at first.
Yeah, we're like still in elementary school and stuff.
Still really young.
And I'll never forget coming home, and this is before you could just fucking pull out your phone and watch fucking whatever the fuck you want, or just even pull up Netflix, or you know what I mean? Like, you had to just watch. This is even like a little right after basic fucking cable, like Comcast, like cable. It's a little like a step after cable.
Yeah.
and The Ring was on, and I was home alone, and I knew nobody was gonna be home till for a while, and I was probably like 11 or 12, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna face my fears because I was always so scared to be alone in the dark. I literally turned off all the lights and watched that whole movie by myself in the dark, and I was so proud of myself. I'll never ever be like, I
You didn't
did
sleep
it.
the same ever again.
But I was just like, I guess that was the roots of like, when it's scary, it's fun to like get into. Like I'm good to like, but ever since then though, like, it's hard for me to be scared.
I'll be honest with you.
With that movie, real quick, that makes me really fond of like. I mean, it reminds me of a time where I used to actually be really scared of movies.
That is a really good answer, but I'm glad you said it. I'll give mine really quick. I would say for me, it's a good version. They've done many of these movies, but for me, it's a good version of Hellraiser, Pinhead, and I've heard some really like head scratchers about what they were gonna do with the new one they're doing, where it's like
they're making a new one.
Yeah, they're talking about maybe making Pinhead a girl, and I'm just like,
as long as they look freaky, whoever it is,
bro. I'm just like, what is that necessary? Like, it's Pinhead, dog. Like, this is a demon from. In fact, make it a girl. But can you just like maybe not talk about it? Like,
make it a fucking person with like 6 tits and like 5 dicks.
Well, I don't understand making him a girl when there are other Cenobites that are girls. I'm like, just you guys have so much to work with. But
it's Hollywood, man. They gotta appeal to everybody.
Yeah. So another one that I would like to see done well, which is just never gonna happen because it's fucking absolutely a ridiculous idea, is Chucky. Because all of us know as adults, if a doll came running at us, we would fucking football hike that like, so far.
Bad, dude.
It would never get. I know every time one of us have watched Chucky, we've been like, I wish a doll would.
Unless the doll was like super fast or really strong, there's no way it's gonna.
Bro, I put grown men into headlocks and they'd be like, oh, okay.
Unless it was like
doll's gonna get put in
unless it was like an ant and like it like picked up the couch and threw it at you. You know what I mean?
I'd still be like, I've stepped on it.
You go to fucking tackle it and it's just like.
It would be epic too.
You're all, like Dragon Ball Z, like.
Dude, if my fight was as epic as that, about that, dude, I'd be like, yo, you'd see some crazy shit. We have when we get production value up, we've got to do an episode of us like, if we were Dragon
Ball versus fucking Chucky doll.
Yeah, but like Chucky doll has like invincible strength. He's like God mode. He's like Goku Black strength.
There you go, dude.
But for some reason,
he's you from an alternate dimension.
Dude. Yeah. Oh man. Ah, dude, that's so funny, dude. Sorry, I had to ask that just because it's
I like that.
season.
I like that.
It's spooky season. I love horror movies. I love them, especially around this time of
year. Any last thoughts for Eternals? Any quick last predictions, thoughts?
I'm nervous about the actors and actresses.
Like the on-screen time all together.
Yeah, and the story they're telling. Look, it's not bad that they're kind of predictable lately. Them making the Sentry character, or what's his name? The guy that's like Superman, basically.
Yeah, who has like laser eyes.
Yeah, I can get over that because Marvel and DC have always done that to each other, where they have similar characters on both sides. So they're both guilty of it, and like around the exact same.
If you watch early documentaries, that used to be, what the fuck it was called? I think it was called. Damn, I forgot what it's called. It was literally like a documentary channel. But
about the golden age of comics? Are you talking about that?
Maybe, but they literally both sides admit of stealing from each other. Or, like artists.
I think you're totally talking about the golden age of comics because they do. They totally would steal from each other. DC and Marvel all the time like that.
Of course, makes sense.
So with Eternals, I'm excited way more than I initially was. But I'm worried that I'm more excited the same way I was excited to watch Venom 2 and very disappointed. And because I tried to rewatch it the other day and I was like, I take it back. This movie's pretty bad.
I feel like this is just going to be more of a...
But what I was going to say was I'm getting myself so hyped. This is not a spoiler. This is just me getting hyped about this movie. Is that we're going to see a teaser of Galactus and the Eternals. And that is when
they already
Well, they teased the Celestials. They
One
haven't
of the
really
Celestial,
teased.
yeah.
Yeah, they haven't really teased.
Well,
any Galactus.
if he's there, that means Galactus is around.
Or what if Galactus is the celestial egg that has been in Earth and absorbing all the Infinity Stones going off on Earth and is about to turn into Galactus? There's a billion.
What?
Things they can
Okay,
do.
so
I'm down with it, but I don't want to.
So this is what I want to happen. Like something bad happens, and then this is just quick theory. Like this is something I would love for something bad to happen, and then they start beating the fuck out of this thing, and then they ask their god like, "Why did you do this?"
Yeah.
And it's that dude with the hammer, and he's like, "It wasn't me." But then they found out at the end.
What's his name? Like something not the judge, but
it's like the fucking searcher.
Stupid.
Yeah, like
that's probably one of them.
Well,
Stupid,
the fucking eraser. Or
the eraser. The sex toy.
But and then they're like, "It wasn't me," and then it showed him who they like, and then he was like, "Oh, something worse is coming than like maybe this guy isn't the bad guy; he's a good guy, like the Celestial." And then maybe they beat the fuck out of this thing in space or like whatever, and then they found out it's a Sentinel. And then they're like, if we could barely beat the fuck out of this Sentinel, we're gonna need all the help to fucking fight the army of Sentinels plus Galactus.
Dude, they are getting closer to the X-Men stories.
That's what I mean, though. That's what I'm looking at. And then the Fantastic Four. I would love to see X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man, and whoever else left over to just like fight fucking Galactus and his army.
I do want to say that as epic as the first half of this Marvel thing has been, I'm very curious about where it's going now. And Eternals
shows sucked ass though.
Every show is garbage, in my opinion. They had
movies,
good moments.
Strictly movies.
Yeah, like just the movie universe. I mean, just the movie stories. They're potentially touching on officially my favorite stories.
Even though we talked about this in like the very first episode,
in the beginning, yeah,
like 2018.
Now, I will say, I think it's really weird, and I'm positive if you go back, we talk about this. I think
there's
it's
multiple episodes, and I'd get mad because I was like, "That's not happening for like."
Yeah.
And if it does, it's not going to happen until like 4 years later. And look, 4 years later,
it's probably accurate.
You and Will fucking called it. You guys are like Secret Wars, Secret Wars. You guys put it out there, and it came true.
We were just like 10 years early. But, well, the thing is, though, I was not like. Don't get me wrong. The only thing that bugs me about the new thing is there are some characters not involved anymore that I'm like, and
kind of fuck it up.
Yeah, like the Iron Man not being involved for me. That
he has a daughter.
But the thing is, both play into the story. There's a timeline in the comics where Iron Man gets brought back to life, right? And then there's many other stories.
You already know though, for they're split into these timelines, they're not going to use Downey Jr. They're going to use somebody else.
No, or they will. Oh, and it'll be a different version, or what? It doesn't matter.
I honestly don't see him coming back to replay the Iron Man role.
Not until the pay is right.
Maybe, but I honestly think he's done with the Iron Man in general.
I think so too. But you got to think, Spider-Man, the character alone with its announcement did better than Endgame did. And I'm just, so what I'm trying to say, I guess I'll say this real quick, is what I'm trying to say is you're telling me Sony and Marvel don't see that result and go, how big can we go and how much money can we get now? Because honestly, they topped Infinity War and Endgame.
So I'm just going to go by what they've already hinted, because so they already hinted that Robert Downey Jr. has a girl, and so she was at the funeral, right?
Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan
So
I think that was her name.
And they could progress the story in the next 2 years to maybe 4 or 5 years. And I think you even said this in one of the Shnerd bites or one of the podcasts, is the emphasis is like Spider-Man's going to be the new Iron Man. Like he's going to be the new leader of the Avengers. That there is whatever.
At least the image they're painting.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It would be sick if they brought him back, even just for like what they're doing now with like a cameo, just to be like, I got to go back to my universe. I can't stay here. It'd be sick if they did that, but I really don't see him coming back to keep the role.
Maybe not. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna take out the argument of Robert Downey Jr. not wanting
Robert
to come
Downey
back.
Down syndrome.
Robert Downey syndrome, but I'm gonna take that argument out just to say he would do it if the right offer was presented. The only story I could think of to where they could really play that in fact, ironically, about Galactus when Iron Man becomes Galactus's herald.
Yeah.
And he gets the Galactus armor. And it's not the shit I was trying to look up and couldn't find. It's that armor I sent you.
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like he is the cosmic armor.
Like kind of like half Silver Surfer, half fucking.
Yes,
yeah.
it's exact. He is Galactus's herald. He basically is in replacement of Silver Surfer, and that would make sense because what they could do is easily go, I'm gonna look for Earth's. Somebody could go, I'm looking for Earth's brightest and best to replace the Silver Surfer, or he's gonna destroy this place. And they go, who could figure this out? Tony Stark. Bring him back from the dead. And there's been times when that's happened to Captain America too.
Oh yeah,
so
everybody gets brought back from the dead in Marvel.
Unfortunately, so there's room, but my thing is, I don't think it's necessary anymore when I look at what they just did with Spider-Man, and I'm like,
well, also they summed up his arc pretty well too with the Infinity Stones too.
And I think there's not a more epic way for an actor to say goodbye to a role than I am Iron Man. The way he started the role and snaps his fingers, and it's like fade to black. Bitch,
like,
yeah, dude, for real. Oh my god, he like melted. Like, Peter, grab my dick.
Which in reality, he probably could have just been like, Buster Cannon.
Dude, that's hella. But you've been playing way too much fucking Marvel vs. Capcom, dude. But no, dude, it's the new story. Like to go back to what we were talking about.
There's a lot.
Eternals is I'm excited. In the trailers, there's cool parts. I have my questions about certain actors. I don't remember his name. Kamal, the Indian dude. And then Angelina Jolie. I'm like, those two, I'm a little iffy because I haven't got to see them, but it seems like, what's his name? Kamal can... I'm bad with names.
Kumal, his first name's for sure Kumal.
He took that role very serious, and he got really ripped.
He did get ripped.
And...
yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of CG, so I think for Angelina Jolie and a lot of them, they don't have to do much. They just have to, like, maybe just...
yeah, just do a little acting.
Yeah.
So read off some lines. I just don't know if that means that we're going to... if this is, like, a one-off, like, this is a one-time movie kind of thing, where it's like what we often see DC do with their
like
movies.
they're all just going to die at the end or something like that.
Or if it's just going to be like, well, it wasn't that good, we're not going to pursue it anymore, move on. And they're going to be like, the story's still valid, though. And it's like, that's fine.
Well, they still have that movie planned down the line called The Marvels.
Yeah, and then they also have... oh, man, they have so much shit.
So we just got to see what happens, and... we're going to have to see what happens even with Spider-Man in the multiverse and like what the fuck's happening there.
Yeah, and if it's even true or if it isn't, it seems like...
and then even Doctor Strange.
You know those guys, the Corridor crew, that they do like the CGI thing where they go bad... Hollywood CGI guys react to bad and good CGI. So they did over this Andrew Garfield thing, and they were like, yo, if this is fake, this is the world's best deep fake ever created. They were like, it's so... and there was one big thing that they called out for anybody who hasn't seen this about the Andrew Garfield. He's sitting on the pole, and remember he's kneeling down. I sent you the picture. And he's talking. He's like... or whatever he's doing, you know? It's whatever weird thing he's doing. But he's sitting there, and this guy came out, and he was like, haha, how I trolled the internet with Andrew Garfield. And he made a video. And in the video, he goes into the deep fake, and he selects what's called like a puppet option or whatever. I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like a puppet thing. And you basically apply anchoring points and you can move an image the way you want. He pops up the thumbnail thing that shows all the different scenes for the artificial intelligence to take to help create the deep fake. Yeah. And it's all one face. There is no reference face. It's just Andrew Garfield. There is no... you need two faces for it to work. And it's just one face. And it's very obvious that the guy was like, he took the image. He tried to
leak it without.
He just took the Andrew Garfield image and was like, here, I can make it look fake, and he just fucked with that already edited footage to make it look like he created it.
Gotcha.
And that's what the Corridor crew was saying. They were like, dude, if this is a fake, it's the world's best deep fake ever made. Like,
shit.
So I think that what Andrew Garfield said in the interviews is correct. I think we need to fucking tailor our expectations for not only the new Spider-Man and expecting Tobey and him in it. Like they may be in it, but for like 3 minutes.
Probably.
And if that's the case, it's still kind of cool. But we should probably start tailoring our expectations for the new movies because of what the TV shows taught us. And it's like, unless they directly do a story where you're like, oh fuck yeah, this is gonna be dope. Like, say if they did a new Incredible Hulk and it wasn't Professor Hulk, we might be like, this might be kind of cool.
We always have to remember too, at the end of the day, it is Disney, man. Disney's the one who has this, and we watched What If and stuff.
We'll see what that means when Deadpool comes out, if it actually means something. Because if you're
the Wolverine game, honestly.
Oh man, they better not fuck that up.
We'll have to see, but
aren't those? Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's crazy. Wolverine's was owned by Fox, right? Which was bought out by Disney. And Sony owns Spider-Man, but the same game studio made fucking Spider-Man and the Wolverine. I wonder how that deal worked. That must have been a fuckery of a conversation. Right?
But we'll finish it here. Thank you so much, Josh.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
If you guys made it this far, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Share the video. Do your thing, you know what I'm saying? Check the description for Josh's Cultcanon's channel. Do all that stuff. Always got new stuff on that channel, or got new content coming out, so you know, you never know.
You never know. I may come up, I may not.
And let you know if we ever went skating or not. No, just kidding.
Damn, guilty ender, bro.
But yeah.
Spoiler alert, we did it. I made dinner and I was like, get out. Shots fired, kid.
No, but you guys be safe. Everybody be nice to each other. Shnerdcast out.